Luke Kuechly was very good at football. He knew every play of the game so well that no one could block him and get to the backfield before they did. He would be right there with the passers as they checked and audibled before the snap, making sure his defense was perfect. The other team was amazed and angry at Kuechly for being able to call out their plays at the line. But how did he become the best linebacker the NFL has ever seen? And why did he quit when he was at the top of his game? Kuechly began to figure out how to beat NFL defenses when he was a child. He always had a greater understanding of the game, and his intelligence made up for the fact that he wasn't very athletic. He helped make St. Xavier in Cincinnati, Ohio, a great high school when he got there. Steve Specht, Kuechly's teacher and a local legend, taught him film study, which is an important part of the mental game. The kid picked it up quickly. Specht said Luke knew how to play every position on the pitch and was always one step ahead of everyone else. Okay, so Kuechly could do a lot of different things. As a junior, he led St. Xavier to a 15-0 record and a state win. As a senior, he became one of the best high school linebackers in the country. But as college got closer, he wasn't as appealing to recruiters. Kuechly weighed only 200 pounds when he was wet, and he wasn't yet the big, strong NFL player we knew him to be. He was only a 3-star recruit and the 44th best outside linebacker talent in the 2009 class because of this. But some people were interested. Of those 4, Kuechly chose the most powerful one: Harvard, Stanford, Duke, Virginia, and Boston College. In the end, he chose BC because it was a Catholic school like St. Xavier and a way for many St. X players to get to Luke. It made sense then. He still had to show what he could do, though. He said that early on. His grown-up friends hit him in the teeth. I was 18 years old when I went in. You get your teeth kicked in when you play against guys who are 22 or 23 years old. You decide how badly you want to do it. Lucky for him, he had a great teacher teaching him how to play the college game at the same time. Wes Davis was a defensive back at BC. He spent hours watching film with Kuechly and teaching him how to break down an opponent. Soon, Kuechly was able to observe things better than anyone else. Having that mental edge gave him the ability to make plays from his outside linebacker spot. During his first year, he was named the ACC's Defensive Rookie of the Year. During his second year, BC didn't have a middle defender, and the teachers thought Kuechly could do it. Luke wasn't sure, but he wanted to keep playing, so he made up his mind to learn the position. This is when he turned into a tackle machine. Kuechly set BC records for career tackles with 532 and single-season tackles in his junior year with 191. He played for BC for 3 years. After his junior year, which was a master class, Kuechly was ready to play football in the NFL to get his PhD at football, and people who judge ability loved what he brought to the table. The league said before the draft that Kuechly was one of the most instinctive and technically sound defenders to come out in years. He was ready to start right away in the NFL and make the defense stronger as a whole, but he didn't make a lot of plays at the line of scrimmage while he was at BC, which made some people worry. Could he keep up with the pros in terms of fitness? They were going to find out soon enough. Luke Kuechly is picked by the Carolina Panthers. College linebacker from Boston. Ron Rivera was the Panthers' head coach at the time, and Rivera knew how to defend in the NFL. He played defender for the 1985 Chicago Bears, who had one of the best defenses ever. He also worked as a defensive coordinator for the Bears and the San Diego Chargers before joining the Panthers. Now that he had Luke Kuechly, he could make him the leader of the Carolina defense. Luke didn't take on that job right away, though. John Beeson was already a great middle linebacker for the Panthers. After the draft, Kuechly was moved back to the outside. He also learned how to play the NFL game from older peers like Beeson, Thomas Davis, outside back, Greg Olson, tight end, and Munderly, DB captain. But Luke wasn't ready for the next event that would change his future forever. After week 4, Beeson hurt his knee and had to miss the rest of the season. 2 weeks later, he had surgery to end his career. And just like that, Kuechly found himself in a very tough situation. He was asked to take over Beeson's position as the defense's center. Wow, that's a lot for anyone, let alone a rookie 21 years old. But he handled it like a pro. He pretty much lived in the film room, and on Sundays, he was the one who set up all the games. As a rookie, Kuechly played in all 16 games and had 164 stops, which was the most in the NFL. He also picked off 2 passes, and the Panthers' defense got better with him as the anchor. They went from being 27th in the league in goal defense to 18th in 2012, the NFL defensive. Your plays before you did them. Rivera would be asked to take Keuchel off the field before the Panthers practiced a trick play, Olsen said, so he wouldn't mess it up. And the work he did in the film room and on the pitch paid off in games. Keuchel had another great year in 2014. He led the league in stops and was named to the first team of All-Pro for the second time in 3 years. Even though Luke had become the best defender in the NFL and the Panthers had a great defense, they still hadn't made it to the playoffs. They had won their division for 2 years in a row, but they couldn't get past that division. Things changed in 2015. As a team, the Panthers were at their best. Coming up with plays, Cam Newton had an MVP season. Luke Kuechly was just as good as ever on defense. On Thanksgiving Day when the Patriots played the Cowboys, his football brilliance was on full show for the whole country. They called a blitz late in the second quarter, but Thomas Davis showed it too soon. QB Tony Romo of the Cowboys reacted by calling an audible. Kuechly changed the defense to answer that. That was one of the best plays of his career. Romo slowed down to throw, and Kuechly and tight end Jason Witten ran down the middle. Then, he broke off the defense because he knew where Romo was going with the ball and kicked the pass home. He cut the line down very short. I think he's not away. After that, you got through it, and that guy ran to sit down. I thought, I'll just jump. I am going to jump the dig and try to run a dig. Kuechly also picked off Romo on the Cowboys' next series, showing the rest of the world what Panthers fans had seen him do his whole career. With a QB who could fool even experienced ones, the Panthers were unstoppable that season and finished 15-1, making them the best team in the NFL. Plus, they finally won a game in the playoffs, beating the Seahawks in the divisional round. Kuechly had 11 stops and a pick 6 in that game. Then, against the Arizona Cardinals in the NFC Championship, Kuechly once again stole the show. This time, he had 8 stops, recovered a fumble, and picked off 6 passes, which led to a 49-15 win. Luke Kuechly and the Panthers would play Peyton Manning and the Denver Broncos in the Super Bowl. These are 2 of the smartest people the NFL has ever seen. Denver could only get 194 yards of offense against the Panthers. But the Broncos' defense, led by Von Miller, made the difference, and they won 24-10. It was another great performance from Kuechly. He had the most stops and a sack in the game, but it wasn't enough. In just 4 years in the NFL, Kuechly had won 2 big individual awards, been to a Super Bowl, and been named to the first team of All-Pro 3 times. Captain America, the name Cam Newton gave him, looked like he could do no wrong. Do not doubt. Do not doubt. As long as Captain America, Luke, and August Kuechly were on our side. But the way he felt told me something else. Kuechly got his first concussion in 2015, 4 years into his career. He said it was his first injury ever, and he missed 3 games because of it. He also hurt his shoulder in Week 17 of that year and had to have surgery. Finally, in 2016, a scary event on the pitch changed Kuechly's future forever. Week 11 was against the Saints, and Kuechly played against Tim Hightower, a running back for the Saints. The top of Hightower's helmet also hit Kuechly right in the face mask, which was bad. The game didn't look very dangerous, but Kuechly was left sitting on the ground, confused and dazed. As the trainers rushed to check on their star, Kuechly couldn't stop crying. The only thing he knew for sure was that something was wrong with him. I remember trying to figure out what was wrong with me while I was sitting on the pitch. Tears kept coming out as Kuechly was put on the cart, which made the scene even sadder. As people around the NFL watched, they were sad because they thought this might be the end for one of the game's biggest stars. Doctors said Kuechly had a grade 3 headache, which is the worst kind. The NFL kept him out of the last 6 games of the 2016 season while they checked for concussions. Luke was so good to start the season that he was named to the second team of All-Pro, but he had already hurt his head twice in as many seasons. What more time did Kuechly have to play? In 2017, he played in the first game back. For the next 3 years, he looked like the old Luke Kuechly. Each season, the number of tackles he made went up. All 3 years, he was an All-Pro, and twice he was named to the first team. Kuechly was the real deal. He played in 48 hours as